Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, the top commander of Iran's Revolutionary Guard warns Israel, says the country would face bitter consequences for its attack. Warning follows Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's remarks. The Iranian leader said that Iranian officials should determine how to respond to Israel. Israel struck Iranian military sites on the 26th of October, killing 4 soldiers. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel has hit Iran's ability to defend itself and produce missiles, adding that the Israeli airstrikes on Iran were precise and powerful. The remarks were made during the memorial service for soldiers killed in Hamas's October 7 attack last year. According to medics in Gaza, an Israeli airstrike on a school housing displaced Palestinians and killed at least 9 people. The strike in the Shati camp of Gaza wounded 20 others, and the deceased include 3 local journalists belonging to Hamas media. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah Al-Sisi comes up with a new truce proposal for Gaza. The 2-day truce proposal involves a limited exchange of hostages and aims at securing a complete ceasefire. Al-Sisi says the proposal would be followed by more negotiations within 10 days. However, he did not confirm whether the plan has been presented to Israel or Hamas. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez is on his first official visit to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a roadshow with Sanchez in Gujarat. The 2 leaders inaugurate India's first private military aircraft manufacturing facility. Prime Minister Modi and Sanchez also held bilateral talks. The Spanish Prime Minister will visit Mumbai tomorrow. An Indian army vehicle comes under attack in Aknur region of Jammu and Kashmir. 3 terrorists fired multiple rounds on the army vehicles. 1 terrorist was killed in the gunfire exchange, and security forces swiftly sealed off the area and launched a manhunt. North Korea accuses South Korea of sending drones into its territory for political purposes. The North Korean Defense Ministry cites infringement upon the country's sovereignty. According to the ministry, South Korean drones flew over Pyongyang at least thrice this month. South Korea calls the accusations a unilateral claim. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump holds a rally at Madison Square Garden in New York. During the rally, Trump criticizes his rival Democrat candidate Kamala Harris. Trump calls her grossly incompetent and a very low IQ individual. Trump pledges to enforce the largest deportation program in U.S. history if elected to power. Meanwhile, former First Lady Michelle Obama joined Kamala Harris at her rally in the swing state of Michigan. She criticized Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. She says some Americans are ignoring Trump's gross incompetence and that a vote for Trump is a vote against women's health. And the Georgian President Salome Zurabishvili has called for mass protests. The call for protests is to oppose the disputed parliamentary election. The Georgian leader calls the election results a total fraud, and the ruling Georgian Dream Party claimed victory in the polls with nearly 54% of the votes. And Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba says that he will stay in office to avoid a political vacuum. The remarks come after his Liberal Democratic Party, or the LDP, loses majority in the snap parliamentary elections. Japanese Prime Minister blames the election debacle on suspicion, mistrust and anger over a funding scandal. The LDP secured 191 seats, marking its worst performance since 2009. And in Uruguay, no presidential candidate wins majority votes in the first round of voting. The South American nation will hold a runoff election on the 24th of November. The opposition leftist leader, Yamandu Orsi, and the ruling coalition's Alvaro Delgado are set to face off in second round of voting. Orsi got 43.2% of the votes, while Delgado got 28% of the votes in the first round. And in Bolivia, former President Evo Morales claims that he came under an attack. Morales says the gunman tried to kill him while he was en route to give an interview. The attack left his driver injured. He blames the current president, Luis Arce, for the attack. And in climate news now, the Air Quality Index, or the AQI, in India's Delhi is in the very poor category. Now, yesterday it was as high as 363, which is significantly more than the WHO standards. People in Delhi NCR region woke up to a blanket of smog in the sky. The pollution situation comes ahead of the Indian festival of Diwali. The setting off of fireworks, which is a Diwali tradition in India, is likely to worsen the AQI. And tropical storm Trami made landfall in Vietnam on Sunday. It brought torrential rains and winds of up to 74 kilometers per hour. 3 people died in the provinces of Quang Nam and Tuan Tien Hu. Now, authorities warned heavy rains could trigger floods in the central parts of the country. The storm has also forced authorities to shut down 4 airports. Meanwhile, the Philippines is reeling from damage caused by tropical storm Trami, and the death toll in the country has risen to 130. Now, Trami made landfall in the Philippines on the 24th of October. Rescue operations are on to look for the dozens of missing citizens. Trami is the deadliest storm that the Philippines has seen this year so far. Meanwhile, danger of another storm looms over Philippines after Trami. The Southeast Asian country is bracing for Kongray. Now, forecasters say the Kongray will intensify into a typhoon by tomorrow. It will cross an island in the north of the archipelago country on Wednesday. At least 20 storms pummel the Philippines or its surrounding areas every year. And rare rains hit Morocco's Sahara Desert, inundating sand dunes and palm trees. It filled up dried up lakes and ponds in the tourist town of Merzouga. Now, locals and tourists rejoiced this as a gift from the heavens. The downpour is a much-needed relief for Morocco, as the North African kingdom experienced its worst drought in nearly 40 years. And climate scientists fear that climate change could intensify volcanic activity in Iceland. The Askja volcano, which is Iceland's most dangerous and active volcano, could erupt sooner than predicted. The Askja volcano has been in a state of unrest since 2021, and scientists say its next eruption could be hastened by the melting glaciers of Iceland. And the COP16 Biodiversity Summit in Colombia enters its second week. Experts have so far reached clear on one sure-shot conclusion. They say that humans are the biggest threat to Earth. Human beings impact land, the seas, and all forms of life. Additionally, 2/3 of the planet's oceans have been degraded. The second week of the COP16 will focus on goals to reverse biodiversity loss by 2030. And on to business and tech news now. Japanese currency, the yen, fell to a 3-month low today. This is after Sunday's election results showed the country is heading for a minority government. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's coalition lost its parliamentary majority. Amid uncertainty, the yen fell by as much as 0.8% to 153.34 against the dollar. Meanwhile, the Japanese stock market defied expectations. The Nikkei 225 index rose by over 2%. A new report says that 7 European countries are easing laws for startups. The report by European venture capital firm Index Ventures claims that they want to bring on par with the US. Now, Germany, France, Portugal and the UK are among the leading countries making changes, and the move aims to attract more investment and talent into the startup space. American pharma giant Eli Lilly has received approval to sell its weight loss drug in Hong Kong. Authorities have approved the use of the Mounjaro injection. It is used for both long-term weight management and type 2 diabetes. Eli Lilly has said that its sales in Hong Kong could start as early as the end of the year. And fast food giant McDonald's says that its beef patties are not linked to the E. coli outbreak in the U.S. A test by the Colorado Department of Agriculture has cleared the hamburger patties. McDonald's says it would resume selling its quarter pounder in the coming week. The fast food giant had removed beef patties from the menu after they were linked to the outbreak. The outbreak has killed at least one person and affected dozens others. And South Korean battery maker LG Energy Solution has reported a 39% drop in quarterly profits. The firm earned just $322 million in profit between July and September this year. The firm supplies car batteries to electric vehicle makers like Tesla, General Motors, and Hyundai Motors. Slowing demand in the EV sector has impacted the firm's business. LG Energy Solutions expects further slowdown going ahead. And plane maker Boeing reportedly plans to launch its fundraiser starting today. The plane maker has received approval to raise about $25 billion from the market. Reports say that Boeing could raise over $15 billion in the first round. This will be through a mix of stock sales and debt. Boeing has been impacted by month-long workers' strike. And German automaker Volkswagen is reportedly planning to cut expenses. The firm may implement a 10% wage cut and cap bonuses for top-tier employees. Volkswagen is also exploring possible closures of some German production sites. The automaker has been under pressure to reduce costs amid high competition. And Italian police have placed 4 people under house arrest in an alleged government data breach case. Among those arrested is Leonardo Maria Del Vecchio, the son of the late founder of Ray-Ban maker Luxottica, and Maria Del Vecchio serves as the chief strategy officer of the Italian eyewear brand. Now, reports say that the case is related to a private intelligence firm illegally assessing the government databases, and this data was later sold to blackmail businessmen and politicians. Indian food delivery platform Swiggy has reportedly reduced its market valuation for the upcoming public listing. The firm now plans to achieve a market value of around $11 billion during the initial public offering. Earlier, it aimed for a valuation of $15 billion. Swiggy's IPO is set to open in November. More than 30 foreign investors are expected to buy stakes in the firm. And Taiwan's TSMC has reportedly stopped sending chips to Chinese chip designer Shati. Now, this comes after one of TSMC's advanced chips was found in a product of Chinese smartphone maker Huawei. The chip was reportedly similar to what the Shati ordered from TSMC, and the US has barred the shipment of advanced chips to Huawei, citing national security concerns. Now, Shati says that it has no business relationship with Huawei. And moving on to sports news, and we start with cricket. Gary Kirsten resigned as the head coach of Pakistan. The South African was the coach of Pakistan's one-day and T20 international formats. Kirsten lasted barely 6 months in the role. He stepped down just ahead of Pakistan's ODI series in Australia. And former Indian cricket captain MS Dhoni hinted at making his possible return for IPL 2025. He says he wants to enjoy his last few years of cricket. There are still doubts over Dhoni's availability for the 2025 edition of the Indian Premier League. Meanwhile, IPL franchise Chennai Super Kings CEO said last week that he was hopeful that Dhoni will be a part of the upcoming IPL season. And moving on to football, Barcelona thrashed Real Madrid 4-0 in a La Liga league match. Now, Robert Lewandowski opens scoring for Barca with 2 back-to-back goals. Lewandowski's goals came in the 54th and 56th minute as Real Madrid struggled to make a comeback. Barca's teen sensation Lamine Yamal had extended the lead in the 77th minute, and this was followed by Rafinha's 84th minute goal, which handed Barcelona a dominant victory over Real Madrid. And Arsenal and Liverpool played out a 2-2 draw in a Premier League match. Bukayo Saka opened the scoring for Arsenal in the 9th minute, but Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk equalised in the 18th minute. Arsenal struck again just before half-time, and Mikel Merino scored a goal to give Arsenal a 2-1 lead. Towards the end, Mohamed Salah came to the rescue for Liverpool to salvage a 2-2 draw. Meanwhile, Chelsea beat Newcastle 2-1 in the Premier League. Nicholas Jackson gave Chelsea a lead in the 18th minute. Newcastle's Alexander Isak scored the goal in the 32nd minute to level the score. And 2 minutes into the second half, Chelsea's Cole Palmer gave his team a 2-1 lead. And in tennis news, Britain's Jack Draper won the Vienna Open yesterday. Draper defeated Russia's Karen Khachanov 6-4, 7-5 to win the title. This is the biggest title of Draper's career. He has previously won the ATP 250 in Stuttgart earlier this season. And in Formula One, Ferrari's Carlos Sainz won the Mexico Grand Prix. His teammate Charles Leclerc came third in what became a double podium finish for Ferrari. McLaren's Lando Norris finished second, while Red Bull's Max Verstappen came sixth after multiple time penalties. And in pickleball, India's Arman Bhatia scripted history in New Delhi with 3 title wins. Bhatia won all 3 finals of the game at the first flagship pickleball event in the Indian capital. Bhatia won the men's singles title by defeating Dusty Boya of the United States 8-11, 11-9, 11-8. And in wrestling, India's Chirag Shikhar clinched a gold medal at the Under-23 Wrestling World Championship. The 18-year-old won the 57-kilogram category. Shikhar defeated Kyrgyzstan's Abdimalik Karashov 4-3 in Albania's Tirana yesterday. And in hockey, India secured a bronze medal at the Sultan of Johor Cup Junior Men's Hockey Tournament. The match was pushed to the shootout phase after a 2-2 stalemate. India's goalkeeper Bikramjit Singh made 3 crucial saves during the shootout. The strikers Gurjat Singh, Namneet Singh and Saurabh Anand scored for India, and India finally won the bronze medal match 3-2. And in the world of showbiz, a unique lookalike competition of Timothée Chalamet was held in New York City. The contest features doppelgangers of the Dune actor, all of whom were mimicking his iconic roles. Chalamet even made a surprise appearance at the gathering and met his fans. Meanwhile, chaos descended during Timothée Chalamet's contest. The event blew out of proportion even before the Hollywood star gatecrashed it. The police had to intervene in the overcrowded event. Its organizers were handed a $500 fine over the unpermitted contest. At least 1 participant was arrested for unclear reasons. And Spider-Man 4 has set its release date for the silver screen. The film will be out on the 24th of July 2026. Tom Holland will reprise his role as Spider-Man in the movie. The film's shooting will start next year. The English actor has headlined 2 Spider-Man films before. And Marvel's anti-hero movie Venom: The Last Dance saw a muted opening at the box office. The film reportedly earned just about $51 million in North American theaters over the weekend. The third franchise of Venom was released on the 25th of October. And filmmakers claim that the low initial turnout is due to a clash with a sports event. The film clashed with the Baseball World Series match between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Diljit Dosanjh kicked off his Dilluminati tour India this weekend. He dazzled the crowd at the concert in Delhi, which was the tour's first stop. The Indian singer was dressed in all-black outfit with a turban. Dosanjh serenaded his fans with his chart-topping tracks. And the singer next heads to India's Hyderabad for a show on the 15th of November. And Dr. Phil McGraw graced former U.S. President Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square, New York. The American TV personality endorsed Trump for president. Earlier this year, Dr. Phil interviewed Trump. Back then, he refused siding with any political candidate for the U.S. presidential election. And there are claims that Beyoncé's speech at Kamala Harris's rally was copied. Model Amber Rose is accusing the Grammy-winning singer of plagiarism. Rose says that Beyoncé copied her speech, which she had delivered at the Republican National Convention in July. Both of their speeches focused on motherhood. The fans' reaction has been mixed, with many defending Beyoncé, as well as Rose. And rolling in the deep, singer Adele spotted Celine Dion at her concert in Las Vegas. She paused while singing and approached Celine Dion seated in a box. Both of them shared a warm hug. The moment brought Adele to tears of joy. Dion was also seen kissing Adele's hand before the singer continued her song. Lady Gaga has released her new electropop single. The song is named Disease. The track serves as the first preview of her upcoming studio album. The electropop song is based on dystopian themes. Gaga also posted a teaser of the music video on the lead-up to the release. And Jeri Taylor, the Hollywood producer and writer, has died at the age of 86. She was known for her work on Star Trek: The Next Generation and Star Trek Voyager. Taylor wrote more than 30 episodes of the Star Trek franchise. She also earned an Emmy nomination as a producer for Star Trek: The Next Generation. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday